It is not possible to exist without work. Even the maintenance of the body requires work to be done, says Shloka 308 of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Niyatam kuru karmatvam karmajyayo hya karmanaha sharira yatra pichate na prasiddhyeda karmanaha. Do the duties prescribed for you, because action is better than inaction. Even the maintenance of the body cannot be done without doing work. However, the rather hard truth about work is that all kinds of action attract karma, or rather create karma, of which the reaction needs to be either born or balanced. Karma yoga can be defined in simple terms as a path towards attaining perfection and attaining spiritual liberation by performing work in a manner that fulfills the following requirements. 1. Not being attached to the results of one's work. 2. Remaining balanced and neutral to success as well as to failure. 3. Having social responsibility as one's core principle. 4. Offering all work as a sacrifice to the Supreme Divine Brahman or Krishna, as explained in Shloka 927 of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Shloka 927. Yat karoshi yadashnas yajjuhoshi tadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer in sacrifice, whatever you give, whatever you practice as austerity, Arjuna, do it for me and as an offering unto me. When a person is attached to their work or to its results, their emotions take over and cloud their intelligence. This can have disastrous consequences on their work and certainly on the result of their work. Letting emotions that actually have nothing to do with intelligence to flow in can distract a person and greatly hamper their ability to concentrate, focus, and to do their best. Whereas, when one works considering their action to be a sacrifice unto the Supreme Divine personified as Krishna, their only goal is to do their best, and that ensures perfection. There was once a building supervisor who was called by a rich man to take over the construction of his house, since the building contractor who was doing the job had suddenly died. The supervisor was overwhelmed by the unexpected offer, and he started dreaming about all that would follow after he completed his project as a contractor that luck or God was giving him. Going to meet his potential client, accepting the work, and starting to prepare for the construction project would have been the actions a sensible person in the shoes would have taken. But what he did was to start building castles in the air. He went home and told his wife that she would soon be introducing herself to others as the wife of the greatest and richest builder in town. He also called his friends and explained to them at length all that he would soon be doing once he became the greatest builder in town. His wife, who was a rather pragmatic person, asked him to first go and meet his potential client. The man was so greatly excited by the possibility of becoming the best builder in town and getting rich that he wasted almost 4 precious hours. The rich client waited patiently, and at the end of the 4th hour gave the job to another upcoming building contractor. Our friend the supervisor went to meet the rich man, but had to return home empty-handed and inform his wife that they would, after all, have to continue the life they were leading until then. The supervisor's attachment to the possible results of his work carried him away and prevented him from even starting the work, let alone doing it well. A lady once wanted to discipline her children and get them to complete their homework that very evening. The children, who were in a playful mood, were enjoying themselves, and therefore she did not want to be a spoilsport and kill their happiness and fun by screaming at them for not doing their work. She very well knew how much her kids loved their father and mother. So she said to them, "Children, do you love your parents?" "Yes," they screamed. The mother said, "Very well. I would like you to end what you're doing now and complete your homework. Would you like to make your mother happy?" "Yes, of course," they screamed. "Well," said the mother, "complete your work for me, for my sake. Will you do it?" "Certainly, mother," said the kids, and they straight away got to work. Their work was so good that the next day their teacher called the lady to convey her appreciation for the work done by the kids. What actually happened here was the children, thanks to the love they had for their mother and father, did their work for their parents' sake, or rather as their offering to their parents. Since the children did their work with the sole intention of pleasing their mother, which in turn would result in perfection in their work, they worked with absolute focus and gave their best. Now, apply that to offering the results of one's work to Krishna, who is the personification of the indescribable, incomparable, unimaginable, all-pervading, omnipotent, and omnipresent Brahman. That is Karma Yoga. It is working with no attachment to the results of your work simply because you do your work for Krishna and as an offering unto him. Now comes an extremely important factor in life. In the second chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, right at the beginning of his discourse, Krishna teaches Arjuna about death, which is the only certainty in life, and explains to him in subsequent chapters the prime principles of performing work in a righteous, responsible, and skillful manner. One who performs righteous action with devotion and no attachment naturally attains perfection. Such a person has a balanced mind and treats equally success as well as failure. Let me repeat, true Karma Yoga is working with total dedication and involvement. When one works for the all-pervading ultimate supreme divine with no attachments whatsoever, their only aim is to give their best, and the natural result of such work is absolute perfection. Doing whatever one does with 100% attention and involvement is the way to being in the moment. It could be anything: eating, reading, working, gardening, cooking, playing with children, anything. When you work, don't think of your wife or children. When you eat, do not think of work. When you take a stroll in the park, just live in the moment and relish the beauty and wonders of nature. What we can truly derive from Shloka 927, in which Krishna says, "Whatever you do, do it for me," would be, whatever you do, do it for yourself, because the self in you is Krishna. Shloka 1020 of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Ahamatma gurakesha sarva bhuta shayastitaha ahamadishcha madhyam cha bhutanamanta evacha. I am the self, O Gurakesha, situated within all living entities. I am the origin, the middle, and also the end of all beings. The only event that is guaranteed in everyone's life is death. It might sound crude and direct, but then death is reality and the only certainty in life. Is it wise to be afraid of something that is certain to happen, and above all, something that can happen to anyone, anytime? Krishna clears this topic once and for all when he starts his discourse in the second chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Once the fear of the worst has been processed in the mind and overcome, the only limit that can exist for anyone would be the sky. That is the right attitude of a true winner. Just be a karma yogi always, and everything else will follow automatically. It simply means have ultimate perfection as your goal and perform your duty without any fear, distraction, greed, or self-doubt. Whatever you do, do it for Krishna. Get ready for 25 powerful shlokas from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita that can guide a seeker in the path of Karma Yoga. Shloka 230. Dehi nityam avadhyoyam dehi sarvasya bharata tasmad sarvani bhutani natvam shochit marhasi. The soul, which is inside everybody, can never be destroyed, Arjuna. Therefore you have no reason to grieve for any being. 231. Swadharmam api chaveksha navikampitu marhasi dharmyadhi yuddhachrayonyat kshatriyasya navidyate. Considering your duty as a Kshatriya, you should not falter, as there is no greater work for you than a battle which protects dharma or righteousness. 232. Yadrichaya chopapannam svargadvaram apavratam sukhinaha kshatriyaha partha labhante yuddhamidrusham. O Arjuna, glad are those Kshatriyas who get a chance to fight such a battle which has come on its own and will open the gates to heaven. 233. Atachetvam dharmyam sangramam na karishyasi tata swadharmam kirtim cha hitva papam avapsyasi. If you don't fight this battle of dharma, you will be a sinner by failing in your duty, and it will cause the loss of your standing as a warrior. 234. Akirtim chapi bhutani kathayishyanti tevyayam sambhavitasya chakirtir maranadatirichyate. Apart from this, people will speak ill about you, and that bad name will last forever. For people of reputation, infamy is worse than death. 235. Bhayadruna duparatam mamsyante tvam maharathaha yesham chatvam bahumato bhutva yasyasi laghavam. These great warriors will think that you have run away from battle due to fear. You are a person highly regarded by them, and by quitting you will incur disgrace. 236. Avachya vadamscha bahum vadishanti tavahitaha nindantastava samarthyam tato dukkataram nukim. Your foes will speak very low of you and ridicule your capabilities. What can be more painful than that? 237. Hato va prapsyasi svargam jitva va bhokshase mahim tasmad uttishta kaunteya yuddhaya krita nischayaha. Either you will be killed in the battle and you will attain the celestial abodes, or you will win this battle and enjoy the kingdom on earth. Therefore, arise and fight with resolution. 238. Sukha-dukkhe same-krutva labha-labho jaya-jayo tato yuddhaya yujjasva naivam papam avapsasi. Fight the battle, treating alike pleasure and pain, gain and loss, as well as victory and defeat. By doing so, you will not sin. 239. Esha te bhita sankhye buddhir yogi tvimam shruno buddhya yuktu yaya partha karma bandham prahasyasi. O Arjuna, I have declared to you the truth according to the Sankhya, or the path of knowledge. Now listen to the teaching of yoga, which is the path of selfless action combined with devotion. By practicing this, you will free yourself from the bondage of actions. 240. Neha bikramana-shrosti pratyavayo navidyate svalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. There is no loss in taking up such a task in this world. Even a little bit of progress in dharma will free you from grave danger. 241. Vyavasayatmika buddhi rekeha kurunandana bahu shakahya nantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. In this path, a descendant of the Kurus, there is a single point of focus and determination. The thoughts of the undecided are branched and are infinite. Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadantya vipaschitaha veda vadarataha partha nanyadastiti vadinaha. 243. Kama atmanaha svargapara janma karma phalapradam kriya vishesha bahulam bhogeshwarya gatim prati. 244. Bhogaishvarya prasaktanam taya pahrita chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhihi samadho navidiyate. Shlokas 2:42, 43 and 44. Unintelligent people who have their minds full of desires are attracted by the flowery statements in the Vedas, and they consider heaven as the highest goal. For them, there is nothing else higher than it. They speak about the rites as prescribed in the Vedas, which get them good birth, power and enjoyment. They think there is nothing beyond pleasure and a wealthy life. People who are attached to such gratifications and power are carried away by these words, and they are not able to attain total determination to concentrate on the Supreme Bhagavan. 245. Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna Nirdvandvo Nitya Sattvastho Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. Vedic literature deals with subjects that fall under the three gunas. O Arjuna, you should rise above the three, be free from the thoughts of acquisition and preservation, always remain in sattva or goodness, and be established in the self. 246. Yavan artha udapane sarvatah samplatodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanatah. What purposes are served by one small reservoir can be served by one large lake entirely filled with water. Similarly, a man of realization attains the purpose that all the Vedas serve. 247. Karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalaheturbhur mate sangostva karmani. You only have the right to work, but never to claim its results. The results of your actions should never be a motive, but at the same time, you should not be attached to inaction. 249. Durena hyevaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddho sharanamanvicha krupanaha phalahetavaha. Work done which is prompted by desire is much lower than work done through wisdom, O Dhananjaya. Those who perform actions with a selfish motive or for gains remain disappointed. However, those who practice karma yoga are free from disappointments and sorrows because they have a balanced mind and are not worried about the results. 250. Buddhi yukto jahatiha ubhe sukruta dushkrute tasmad yogaya yujyasva yogaha karmasu kaushalam. Enriched with this wisdom, you get rid of both good and bad reactions, even here on earth in this life. Therefore, you should take to yoga, which is the art of working. 320. Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim mastita janakadayaha lokasangrahamevapi sampashyan kartumarhasi. Even Janaka and other kings attained perfection through action. Your actions should be for the benefit of the world. 325. Saktaha karmanya vidvamso yatha kurvanti bharata kuryad vidvams tatha saktash chikishu lokasangraham. Just as ignorant people perform actions with attachment to the results, learned people perform work but with no attachments. Their desire, if at all, is only the welfare of the world. 330. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa nirashirnir mamo bhutva yudhyasva vikatajvaraha. Renounce all your works completely in me. With your mind full of knowledge of the self and without expecting any benefits, be clear of arrogance and laziness and fight. Shloka 510. Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam yaktva karodyaha lipyatena sapapena padmapatram mivambasa. One who dedicates all his actions to the Supreme Bhagavan and gives up all attachment to his works is untouched by sin, just as a lotus leaf is by water. 525. Labhante brahma nirvana varshayah krina kalmashaha Chinnadvaidhayatatmanaha sarvabhuta hite rataha. Those whose sins have been destroyed, whose minds are clear of doubts and are always engaged in working for the welfare of all living beings, achieve liberation and absorption in the Supreme Bhagavan or Brahman. When you work with total focus, responsibility, and zero greed, what else can be the result but perfection? Whatever your job, do it to the best of your ability with 100% attention, focus, dedication, and social responsibility. Be a karma yogi. Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna.